And we are here because we are running the Multiplier event related to the Geovt program. It's a program which is the head is the University of Stockholm, and we are very happy with the results until now. Last week we had training and e-training for the students of the different partners included in the project. The e-training, I think, it lasts until today. So hopefully we will have some good results. From on behalf of Aspete, I would say that on Wednesday, some of the students were very happy, foreign students were very happy with the tools presented by Aris and me. So it's a good project, which I think will contribute also from the research part of view and from the educational part of view. I'm also very glad that I cooperate with the people, that we have a very common understanding of this phenomena and a very good relationship in scientific issues and in personal level. So that's by me. Now we have 38 people, Nikki. So we are 2 from 40, and now they are running to enter. So I think 39 now. So when the number goes to 40, it will be now it's 40. So 40 people now, and there will be much more during your talk. Anyway, my friend, I start with my friend and my colleague Nikki, is going to make a short description of the project and what she's doing with her team at the National Capodistria University of Athens. So, Nikki, the floor is yours to tell some more things about 41 now. So, except you is 40. So, we're very happy now. So, it's your lucky time, 3:26. Well, it's not bad for the Greek, say, average value of time. Okay. Well.
Come on, you make me angry. You do it on purpose.
Anyway, it's Christmas spirit. It's Friday. It's all these things. So I would like to thank you for your presence here, and the floor is yours to start presenting the outline of the project. And after Nikki, we have a very good list of presenters who are going to. I'm going to actually guideline the speakers, and after Nikki we will have more extensive talks about the event. So thank you for your presence here, and the floor is to you, Nikki. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarados, for your this welcome speech. And at this point, I would like to mention that okay, we are 42 so far, but one of the link includes 16 persons, so it's much more. And
sorry to interrupt you, but we had a doc in the drive, so it will be nice to fill the names and affiliation in this one, because we have to use this as a deliverable actually. Okay, so 42 plus 16 is 58. So we are more than 40.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And in fact, as soon as I finish my presentation, I will go to the next room where the 16 persons are there and following this meeting, and I will ask them to sign the document. But maybe it will be helpful for people to just to remember that, to add it in the chat, so everybody will.
So there's not chat actually, because these Teams is open to everyone. So if it is not from, if it's open for everyone, because we decided to do in this way, so they can enter without the permission, etc. So it's better to fill the doc in the drive and send to me or something like that. Or
okay.
And
Okay, we will do it like that. All right. So, just to mention that the escape rooms your team has prepared, and everybody will understand later on what it is. We have played with that in my classroom, so the students that are following us right now have already played with that, and I think they enjoyed. So let's start with what we are doing with Geovt. Let me know if I have managed to share my screen.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, good. So I will present our Geovt project. Geovt stands for Training New Generations on Geomorphology, Geohazards, and Geoheritage through virtual reality technologies, and aims to give all students the opportunity to get to know various geomorphic environments which are inaccessible or unavailable in their country, or require time and money to visit. The idea was born during the pandemic, but later on we thought that it would be wonderful to establish a connection between the geomorphologists and share our field trips in our amphitheaters. This is the way our students will visit more sites and will learn about them from those who are doing research in these areas. So the Geovt journey started like that, but it is not only this.
Nikki, may I interrupt you?
Yes.
Can we record that? I mean, can we record all the meeting?
Yes, it will be nice. Yes,
okay.
No problem.
So there's no objection for that. Good. Okay, thank you. Sorry for that.
But let's introduce our team first. We are 6 universities in total collaborating on this project, and specifically University of Stockholm, the National and Kapodistrian University of Athens, University of Modena, University of Caen Normandy, University of Wrocław. Partners from these universities are all dealing with geomorphology. And then we have also in our group the University of Aspete, who is taking care of the pedagogical part of our project, since we propose new tools in education. And last but not the least, we have a private IT company in our group. It is an Omega company, which they developed the tool we use for our field trips. Geovt offers alternative forms of education to contribute to a fundamental change in teaching methods in multiple domains of science, offer participants the ability to virtually navigate over areas which they could not visit otherwise, to enrich students' experience and provide deeper learning opportunities by bringing to life lessons of geomorphology, geohazards, and geoheritage cases. But Geovt is not only the virtual field trips in geomorphology. Geovt provides new educational material for geomorphology, geohazards, and geoheritage, various geomorphic virtual field trips, authoring tool for creating custom virtual reality interactive presentations, which means that after the end of the project, we can still creating new virtual field trips, an opening e-class, geomorphology, geohazards, and geoheritage, and also an e-book about the same subject. I mentioned before, we are providing different geomorphic environments to this e-class and to our virtual field trips and so on. So it's a university dealing with geomorphology, provides some virtual field trips in different geomorphic environments. For example, from our colleagues from Sweden, who are leading also the project, they will provide, they are providing virtual field trips in glacial and periglacial environments, but also processes associated with tectonics and climate. And this is happening for any different university. For example, we are dealing a lot with coastal erosion, surface runoff, sea level changes, coastal and fluvial geomorphology. Unimore, they are providing geohazard material and virtual field trips about geoheritage. UNICA-N, more about hydrological hazards, and so on. Here, I can show you just a sample of what we may develop through the Geovt authoring tool. We are using 360 photos collected from the field along with additional material. I will not show you much more because colleagues later on they will present to you the virtual field trips we have developed through Geovt project. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we have prepared an open e-class, which is a very powerful future tool, which concentrates lectures, educational material, virtual field trips of different geomorphic environments, in all of them in one place, fully implemented educational multimedia material, scientific journals and e-exercises may be found here. The class could be a common tool for geomorphologists from different universities to share their classes and their material, and also students from different universities to interact and to work together. That's why I mentioned at the beginning, it is a powerful future tool because we have developed this through Geovt, and now we are using this through our e-training school we are running this week, but it will be open for all universities dealing with aspects of geomorphology, and we will be really happy to share all the material and everything we have prepared through Geovt with other colleagues worldwide. As I mentioned just before, we are organizing an e-training school. In fact, today is the last day of this e-training school, which provides a comprehensive education on applied geomorphology topics, and there are links to society, geohazard assessment and management, and geoheritage issues. And we use, in order to do that, we use the class I showed you before, this open e-class, the virtual field trips we have prepared, and we have combined synchronous and asynchronous meetings with the students. So far, we have about 50 students from our universities. And at this point, I would like to mention that you may follow us from the social media. As you may notice here, we have different kinds of social media. We are posting our news there, and of course, you may follow us through our website, as you may notice here. And we will be really glad to have you on board. The project will finish at the end of the spring. We are still working on that. In fact, we are finalizing and we are reducing our material, but this is the right moment to join us in order to share all these deliverables we have developed and to be shared among the geomorphic community. And I will share again my screen because I would like to share my sound also with you. And I would like to see, let me see how to do that. I'm not very familiar with this platform. I found it. Does not accept to do that. I don't know why. Can you do that? Can you share?
But you shared before, I think.
I want to share also my sound, but it gives me a message that I cannot share the sound of my computer because I would like to share with you the two videos that the Geovt has prepared.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that because it's well.
Ωραία. Okay, Yannis will share. He's at the same room with me. Can you please share first of all the first video? Okay, let's go.
The project Geomorphological Virtual Field Trips is designed to demonstrate a uniform and integrated teaching guideline that promotes distance education by utilizing the most recent trend of technologies in education. The aim of the project is to offer alternative forms of education, contributing to a fundamental change in teaching methods in multiple disciplines of science. Students will gain experience through the interactive aspect of geomorphology, geohazards, and geoheritage, subjects which come to life with students are virtually in the field. Geovt is training new generations on geomorphology, geohazards, and geoheritage through virtual reality technologies. Join us and explore field trips on various geomorphological sites around Europe and get the virtual reality experience.
And there is one more we would like to share with you.
Are you a geology student? Or someone really interested in earth sciences and gorgeous landscapes? Geovt is a new educational platform that brings the field inside your room. Discovering geomorphologies, geoheritage, and geohazards around the world.
We love being in the field, but sometimes it's difficult to reach it.
Discovering geomorphologies and geohazards around the world is easier through virtual field trips. You may explore lagoons and dunes, glaciers and rivers, observe erosion and understand the necessity for nature protection. Virtual field trips is a tool on how we could help our society to be educated on these issues and lead to a more sustainable environment. You may also visit a geophysical museum.
As a geomorphology tutor, I'm always in search for the best educational tools for my class.
You can access the Geovt platform by
Έλα,
using your
Μαρλένα,
computer,
έλα,
or you may
έλα,
also wear a virtual reality headset
έλα.
to enjoy the full experience. We ensure the inclusion of all students and try to make education more fun. The Geovt project is co-founded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. You may find our webpage and social media to contact us and share our passion.
So, at this point, I would like to thank you for joining us today, and I would like to give the floor to the next speakers of our Geovt group to present you some of the virtual field trips we have developed. Don't forget to join us if you like what we are doing. If you love geomorphology, join us and share with us all the material we have developed. It will be a great pleasure for us.
Well, I would like to ask Vittoria Vandelli
Yes, I'm here.
to give us a talk about the training activities on geoheritage through virtual reality. Vittoria, we had a very good collaboration throughout this project, so the floor is yours, and we expect from you to open our horizons with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen, yes. I
Okay,
can
thank
see.
you very much. Thank you. So, first of all, I would like to present you some training activities on GeoHeritage through the use of virtual reality technologies. In particular, we are focusing on GeoHeritage, but what is GeoHeritage? For people that are not very familiar with this concept, the GeoHeritage is an integral part of the global natural heritage. It includes special places and elements that play a key role in our understanding of the history of the Earth, for example, including rocks, minerals, fossils, and landscapes. It's a non-renewable resource and a common part of the mankind cultural heritage. So it is very important, a very important component of our heritage. But why we decided to promote GeoHeritage, to spread the knowledge regarding GeoHeritage? First of all, because GeoHeritage, for example, through geotourism, promotes the conservation of geodiversity by ensuring geoscientific education, spreading the understanding and appreciation of geological features, for example, to tourists and visitors, but also to students and local communities. GeoHeritage can be used for educational purposes to provide students with knowledge regarding Earth history and processes that shape the landscape. In the last few years, dedicated courses and content regarding geoheritage and geodiversity have been introduced in universities. However, we feel that there is still the need to improve the awareness of these topics, especially at higher education levels, such as at university. Well, the recent advances in computer technologies and communication have provided new tools that can be used to develop new practices in geoheritage management, including education. In fact, as you may understand, the use of immersive technologies in the field of geoheritage led, for example, to overcome the inaccessibility of sites, to overcome also the meteorological variability, to preserve the integrity of sensitive sites, of particularly vulnerable sites of interest, and to avoid that students as well as tourists be threatened by geological hazards. Regarding our specifically to our project and to the implementation of the field trip in GeoHeritage, we followed the presented workflow that can be also followed by others that other people that are not very familiar with virtual reality. And in this presentation, I hope that you will understand how virtual reality through our tools implemented within the Geovt project can be used for teaching geosciences and earth sciences in particular. So first of all, we identified courses and academic programs in which the material developed within the Geovt project may be useful. For example, we selected academic programs in earth sciences and natural sciences, environmental sciences, and geography. In particular, we identified some bachelor's and master degrees, including courses on georesources, geomorphology, physical geography, and so on. And also our materials developed within the Geovt project can be also used in dedicated courses specifically designed for talking about geoheritage and geoconservation. The objectives of our lesson is providing students with theoretical and practical knowledge on concept and method for studying geoheritage. The contents includes geoheritage definitions, geomorphological heritage and its features, and geoheritage values, including scientific, historical, aesthetical, and ecological values. Of course, a final test is also provided in order to verify the effectiveness of the learning experience. So the best way to convey this message, this lesson, was identify as the immersive virtual field trips in selected study areas. They are based on virtual reality. The virtual reality lessons are also accompanied by additional educational materials, for example, bibliographic materials, lectures by means of standard presentations, but also videos, multimedia material. So in this context, we selected the study areas, in particular 3 study areas, for the development of the virtual itineraries. Those areas are the natural reserve of Salse di Nirano, located in the Emilia Apennines. This reserve includes very spectacular mud volcanoes that are part of the geoheritage of the region. And also the second area, located again in the Emilia Apennines, is the Rio della Rocca catchment, where very nice bedland morphologies and selective erosional features occurred. Another site was chosen to create a virtual itineraries, and this corresponds to the northern part of Malta, the island of Malta within the central Mediterranean Sea. Here we can observe very nice bays with crystalline waters, but also a very nice sinkhole here in this picture. You can see it from the drone. Once the sites and the sites were decided, we started to collect the material. First of all, we collected the 6 existing materials, including bibliography, photographs, drone videos as well. And also we prepared the explanatory material, including textual explanations, but also the recording of speech in order to provide students within the virtual trips with explanation by a human voice that is very useful. Then we collected and prepared the material that is properly used to create the virtual itineraries. It consists of 360 photographs and videos, but also standard photographs and sound recording. Here is how we collected the material. In particular, within this project, we acquired the 360 videos and pictures by using the camera that you can see in the left corner. It's a 360 camera dedicated for this type of duty, and also it is used by connecting it with a normal smartphone, so very easy to be used. And here some shots taken when we were collecting this 360 material. Then these 360 pictures were processed by using a dedicated software that was provided together with the camera. So it is integrated with the camera. The 360 photographs were converted in JPEG format and the videos in MP4 format. Here's an example of a 360 video collected by using the Insta360 camera. We've been the single. So after collecting all this material, we started the real implementation of the virtual reality. First of all, we uploaded the educational material through the Geovt authoring tool platform. And then we create, by assembling all this material, the virtual reality lesson. Now we see briefly in detail, briefly what we did. So first of all, we collected all the material and we uploaded the material on the Geovt platform. Here you can see an animation of how the platform works, but maybe later other talks will explain it more in detail. So we collected, we uploaded all the photographs, 360 video and photographs within this platform, and then we put together all this material in another platform, the Geovt platform, in order to create the virtual trip. We connected all the pictures and images to create an immersive itinerary. And here again, an animation that shows it. The last slide is an example of a virtual field trip, the one that we implemented within the natural reserve of Sarse di Nirano. And also you can see the possibility to include the digital elevation models and pictures just to enrich, to explain better to students the information regarding the area that they are visiting virtually. So this is it from my part. This is all, and thank you very much for your attention. I hope that everything was clear. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Vittoria. Actually, I was really impressed by your talk. It was very concise, compact, to the point. And this indicates how we can combine actually natural phenomena and geology with new technologies. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Okay, do you think that we could ask the questions during the presentation, or to leave the questions at the end of the speakers when they have completed their talks? Well, no response, so we continue with the next speaker. The next speaker is Dr. Yannis Saitis, a very nice guy from the group of Nikki. It's a very good scientist and friend. So Yannis is going to talk about teaching geomorphological processes in coastal zone, a virtual tour. Yannis, thank you for your presence here, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Professor Psicharis. I'm very happy to be here with you, and I will try to share my screen. Give me a moment. It's not so easy. Give me a moment here. Um, okay. Thank you very much, Professor Evelpido, for helping me with the application. So I suppose you can see in full screen now the presentation, right? Okay, I suppose yes. So, okay. Um, so during difficult years and also in general, there was a very, let's say, for us geomorphologists, it was very important to go to the field and mostly also for the coastal geomorphology, to teach coastal geomorphology, we will have to go, as you see here, me and Professor Belpido here, we are standing on the notes and talking with so many people around and trying to have a lecture in the coastal zone. However, in order to do that, we had to spend a lot of money to go over there, to move so many people and arrange a specific day in order to do that. So um, there were many factors and many limitations in order to have a successful field trip. So in this case, we have developed similar field trips for the coastal zone in a virtual environment of the Geovt tools, with using the Geovt tools. So I will talk to you about the sea level changes a virtual field trip that we have developed and the coastal erosion. So two different thematics that, for example, in the first case, we will have to go to Naxos Island in order to have an experience about sea level indicators. And in the second case, we will have to go to visit Marathonas from the dam and also the coastal zone. Next, to go to Diolkos of Corinth and then to Yaltra in the North area. So as you understand, in order to visit these four different areas, we will need around 1 week to travel all around and spend some thousands of euros. But in our case, in a few minutes, we have compressed knowledge and very fast travel all around. So the first one, as I said before, is the sea level changes. And during these field trips, we're teaching to our students what are the sea level changes. Um, we prepared also, except the virtual field trips, material that cover all these thematic. So we're talking about all the variations that the sea level depends on the fluctuations and how the shorelines retreats or propagates in the case of sea level of these sea level changes, and their indicators which gives us the information about those changes, because we're not on that place all the time. So we will have to check um, where was the sea at a specific time. So there are different kind of indicators uh, given us this information about. So one of them is the biological, the archaeological, geomorphological, and sedimentological. But when, for example, we're talking about biological indicators, we're talking about fossils, organisms that were living on the sea level. So when the sea level was at that time at that place, those organisms were living at that place. And later on, when we had the sea level, the sea level fluctuations, we see different placings of these fossils of the organisms. We're also using during our fieldworks other different kind of indicators such as beach rocks and marine terraces, which beach rocks indicating us old bit coastlines fossilized. So we can see, for example, here in the photo and also during our virtual field trips, if we have these shorelines submerged, we understand that the sea level was rise, and also we take also this information about using marine terraces, this kind of platforms near the coast. And other geomorphological indicators that we're talking about are the marine notches. So how organisms that they were living on the sea level, they ate, let's say, the rocks and give this kind of formations. And these kind of formations on the shorelines are giving us this information about the sea level change. And let's don't forget the human impact on the coast. So, for example, we have the ancient Roman fish tanks that there were very specific constructions on the sea level. So these are very good archaeological indicators giving us this information about the sea level. And the sentimentalological indicators, which are okay, this is more needs more scientific interpretation, but using the virtual tools, we can add this kind of information in the natural environment and provide more integrated content to our students in order to understand the processes and let's say the paleo geography of a coastal area. So in order to do that, we are traveling to the Naxos Island, using again 360 photos and drone photos and videos in all these places. We collect very nice sceneries and combine them in let's say, the extra information that we provide with the students. Those field trips are giving information about the sedimentary processes along from coring on national lagoons, for example, or analysis of dune formations and aeolian geomorphology, which are very important for the sea levels. And then we are dealing with the coastal erosion phenomena, which this phenomena can be found in many different coasts. So first of all, we're dealing with what is the coastal erosion, what parameters affecting the coastal erosion, for example, the climate, the wave regime, the coastal currents, the lithology of the rocks, and of course the global sea level. We're also, after understanding the main factors of the coastal erosion, we're dealing with the study methods and practices, and along with all that kind of coastal constructions and how human activities prevent or not coastal erosion phenomena. So this is concerning the material that we provide the students, but on the same time, we are traveling to here Yalta area at the northern area, the coastal zone on Marathon Coast, and also we are dealing with the coastal erosion at place of Diolkos in Corinth. So again, we went to those places. We took 360 photos and drone photos. And we have, first of all, we are traveling, maybe better, to Marathon Dam, and how the sediment provision affects the coast. And then we're going to the coast to see the problem. So we're connecting the inland and the coastal processes all together. So, for example, this is a figure from our virtual filtering and how we indicate the issues on the coastal zone. Afterwards, we're traveling to the Orcos of Corinth. The VR environment is based on the today's situation, which is not the same like those drone photos that I'm showing you right now. This is old photos. So this area in the VR is covered by cement, okay, because they are doing some constructions. So we're dealing with that, about the erosion processes and how this is like like that, as you see here, some cements, and here again some constructions, how this affects the natural environment, how humans are dealing with the beach rock destruction, and the potential increase of coastal erosion to and infrastructure damages in the future. And finally, we are traveling now to Yalta at North Evia, where that place is a very special case, let's say, as you see here, because in this summer, and during June, early June, 4.8 Richter earthquake struck near Atalante, and this earthquake caused a coastal landslide, as you see here. So we have a dynamic phenomena, and how the dynamic phenomena changes the equilibrium on the coastal zone, and this new equilibrium is affecting the coastal zone, and how new processes are, let's say, reworking the coast, and change the morphology, and later on we'll deal with coastal erosion. So here is a very nice also opportunity for the students to visit, and with these 4 different field trips, we're talking about many procedures taking place in the coastal zone. Thank you very much for your attention, and don't forget to get in contact with us in this social media, as you see here, and also use our webpage to find our material and the downloadable players. Thank you very much.
We thank you too also, Yanis. Very, very well done. Good, good. I think now you have the spirit of the doctor now. I knew you some years ago when you were a PhD student, but now you are a doctor now, and I think you have changed also the style of your talk. So it's very good actually. I mean, I can see differences, good differences, and congratulations to you and your supervisor too. So now it's a different, it's a specific moment for me, because Yorgos Maneas, a Greek, I suppose, who lives in Sweden, he's going to talk about my area. I mean, Yorgo, I'm from this particular area, and that Yalova I used to play when I was a kid, actually.
Okay.
So my village is very close to Yalova, and every summer I have the pleasure to go there many times, because I like this area. It reminds me of my childhood. So it's very specific time for me, and from some other people now who are from Messina, and they are in the participants list. So thank you for your initiative to deal with that. And I mean, as far as I remember, Costa Navarino area is quite different at the time that I was a child. So, I mean, I used to go there for swimming with my friends. But
When
now,
was that?
it was about, I mean, until 1985, it was the whole area was quite different. Yeah. But anyway, we used to go there from my village to go for swimming because the sea there was very deep, and we would like to go for the deep water, etc. So anyway, I'm delighted to hear about these points now. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much.
Special thanks.
Before that, I would like, may I? Do you allow me?
Of course.
We have in our group two more new doctors, or at least on Monday it will be. You know, Yorgos Maneas is presenting his PhD on Monday, so he will be a doctor very, very soon.
Good.
Yes, and actually, the idea behind today's presentation was to more or less try to combine these, maybe some slides from Monday, but also some things that we have used as training material. So compared to the other two speakers, I think that I will tell you more how I perceive geomorphology, how I understand it, and how I try to keep it at the back of my mind, because my main interest is in management and actually on how we can in restoration. So because, as you are probably aware, the wetland has some problems which we need to deal with. Let me.
Have you any connection with this area, or just this?
I come from Kalamata, and I work at the Navarino Environmental Observatory, which is a cooperation between Stockholm University, the Academy of Athens, and Temes, which owns Costa Navarino, the hotel.
So we have to arrange a meeting now in Yalova for the summer. Okay. Okay.
I was first
Nikki?
there giving away to distribute newspaper back in 1999. So this was my first meeting with the place. So let me, sorry, let me share the screen.
So by the end of Yorgos' talk, everybody should wish him luck for Monday, okay?
And I know that is boring, but we have to fill also the form with your names and emails, etc. Okay.
Do you see my screen?
Yes, I can see Voidokilya there.
Yes, actually, this is a picture of the Yalova lagoon. This is the lagoon. This is Voidokilya, the west coast of Messina, and this is Navarino Bay. And to go more into, let's say, the mapping part, this is the Yalova lagoon, the wetland for which I'm quite interested about, which is, okay, as you can see, it has many straight lines, which doesn't mean that it means that it is artificial part of it. And this is how geomorphology helped me to understand some things. So some basic, it is a coastal lagoon with transitional waters, meaning a mixing zone between the sea and freshwater inputs from the inland. It has this average depth, quite shallow, I would say, around 0.6 meters, high salinity fluctuation. And as I told you before, there are water exchanges with the sea, as in most coastal lagoons, and some freshwater inputs from the catchment. Actually, the catchment is quite small one, around 40 kilometers, square kilometers, but in fact, it contains some very critical water bodies for the region. The one is this groundwater aquifer, which is used for irrigation, which is used for water supply of the area, but it is also vital for the wetland. And the springs of that groundwater and a river. My interest is mainly on salinity in this wetland because it seems like that it is a key driver of change, and also salinity is a factor that it is affecting all aquatic organisms, and it is from fish.
Giorgo,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Do you
Παρακαλώ.
change the slides?
Ναι.
Because
Yes.
okay, for us there is no change in the slides.
No.
We are still at slide 1, and we don't see it as a full screen.
Wait, I don't know what's happening. Let me stop sharing, and I can try again. Yes, I was already in slide. Oops. Entire screen. Let's do it like that. So maybe now. Do you
No.
see?
No.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
We see a slide with a table, why salinity, Yalova Lagoon.
Yes, and
yes.
now a table, not a table. I'm just playing around to see if you can see the changes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can see.
Okay. Thank you, Nikki. So I was saying that salinity is a critical factor because it is affecting all living organisms, aquatic organisms. From fish, because they all have this specific tolerance to salinity. They cannot stand more. But also habitat, species, vegetation which is very important also for the water birds. So my entry point into this geomorphology was to, and when we were preparing this educational material, I learned many things. I learned about the natural processes that were in the area and how the wetland was formed. This is more, this is science made by Emanuelidis and his team back in 2018, and this is what it is presenting now in these coming slides. So the processes were mainly river sediments coming from these small rivers that you can see around, and also sand transfer that actually gradually created these barriers that constrained the waters and eventually formed the lagoon. Again, my view in this is how salinity was changing. So as it was here, let's say between 5,800 to 3,300 years before present, it was still a marine environment, we could say, but from what we read, there is also an increased input of fresh water sources because of the small animals that they found there in their sediment analysis. The area, and this is also something that most likely people back then also changed the river mouth, and they changed this. This is another river. It's not part of the catchment now, but most likely it used to be. Anyhow, what it was important for me to know for my studies was that when the wetland was formed, when it took its natural form, and this is most likely how it was a rather brackish wetland, low salinity. Brackish, let's say maximum 20, of course with fluctuation during the year, but this is what more or less brackish means. So there were freshwater inputs from the catchment, and of course this communication with the sea. And then we came, people, and started to drain the wetlands back in the 60s to provide land for agriculture, to fight malaria, or even to make airports. These are some of the things that the locals were saying about why it was this draining efforts in the wetland. And I will just show you quickly how the hydrological regime changed. So there was a diversion of freshwater inputs. There was all these canals that they were constructed to drain parts of the wetland. And there was a pump house, and they started to pump out water from the lagoon. Actually, by 1964, from testimonies that we have from that area, the lagoon was dried, and they were playing football. This is what they were saying. Some elderly from the area, but like many public work in Greek, especially at that time, the work was abandoned, and it was left like that for many years until 1976, when the lagoon, the canal that allows communication with the sea, was reopened mainly to allow fishing again in the lagoon. I forgot to mention that it is a quite important fishing area. But okay, people wanted to do more, so what they did, they built this inner embankment, which more or less separated the wetland, which was one, to a lagoon side and a marshy side. Actually, this is also how people call it today, the lagoon and the marshes. And this is more or less what this type of construction actually cut off the two water bodies. So let's say one side only sea water, the other side only, let's say, with some fresh water. In between, there was an oil spill, and there was an environmental study from Ithavik, which actually revealed that for the first time that we had a problem with salinization in the area. Actually, it was so high that there were also dystrophic crises in the region. So the idea was to create some doors, some gates, which could allow some freshwater inputs from Tiflomitis Spring, from this side, and from Xerolagados River. The constructions were, the gates were constructed. There was some small decrease in salinity, but the management failed mainly because of conflicts between fishers and farmers, because these gates were regulated, and also conflicts between fishers and conservationists. What is, let's say, the most appropriate thing to do? Today, actually, when I started this PhD back in 2015-16, the salinity was already varying between 20 and 55, and the conditions were hypersaline for almost 30% of the year. Here you can see in the blue areas, let's say the wet season, when we get some fresh water from precipitation, mostly, which lowers salinity, and during the dry season when we have the peaks, because of very, very high evaporation, because we are at this latitude. Also, we ran some models, and we saw that under this expected climate change, we expect that salinity will be further increased. There are examples, for example, around the globe where salinity could reach even 90 grams per liter. Keep in mind that the sea salinity is around 38 in that region. And of course, the period under hypersaline conditions will also be increased. These are the most recent measurements. We see that there is a small drop because of a better communication with the sea, a small drop in higher levels. But the hypersaline conditions continue to increase. And by hypersaline, I mean values above 38.5, which is the sea salinity. And quickly, I will go into this management approach because time is flying. We have all this, we have the site description, what has happened. There are some more data about salinity, about water birds and what they need. But the most important, at least in my view, is how we're going to engage the people in this approach, the locals, the stakeholders. So in that case, to go from a site description to a social ecological system and see who are the main users, what is their views about the area, and how they would like the area to see. And also align all these with existing policy frameworks. And why not? It was just added. Why don't we have it as a geoheritage site in the area? I think it is possible to do that. And to do that, one part of the work was to talk to the people and write down what they think about it, what is their opinion about it, and with all types, with the farmers, the industry, the fishers, tourism, the policy, and also the institutions, and have these chaotic graphs, which actually they tell a story, and this story can be combined into one graph and go back to them and say, yes, we agree with this story, what you say. And then we can start adding our data and start developing models which are quantified. And looks more chaotic, but it is quantified. And once quantified, it can give graphs and it can go back to the people and say, guys, if you go that way, this is what you should expect. All the way, because there is this iterative process with the people, all the steps are validated by them. So eventually, they are becoming part of the whole story and part of the solution, or not, if they choose not to do something. In a Zoom, this is how such a process, this participatory modeling would look like, where in one hand we have the salinity and what is affecting the birds, ecotourism supply, maybe food supply because of this. On the other side, we have activities happening in the catchment, irrigation, the farmers, we have the water supply, which is tourism and the local population. We have all the natural processes, let's say, in the middle, climate change, and all the things, that people, we could do as suggestions, as restoration efforts, either in the wetland to restore the flows or to restore the habitats, or in the catchment to behave, let's say, in a more sustainable way. So these, and I will close because I can see that the time has passed. Since they are modeled, you can run your scenarios. If we go as we go, then we should expect that the salinity will continue to grow and it will reach limits that most likely the lagoon will collapse. If we start doing some things like, let's say, a restoration at this side, yes, we could see some improvement. If we do more, the improvement is more and more. And we could lower salinity to levels wanted by fishers, which are also beneficial for nature. We could choose, probably because there is water availability, to lower even down the salinity values. But then this should be more like a tool for the people down there to see and use how they would like to manage their wetland. To finish, some take-home messages. To me, the example of Yalova Lagoon help us exactly to understand how long processes and how long time it takes, and maybe in a wise way for the nature to form all these sites that exist today, and how fast humans can destroy these sites and degrade nature. And this is not happening only in Yalova Lagoon, of course. We have lost so many wetlands during the last century. Nonetheless, if we restore wetlands, this is always on our side, because we will start getting back all the benefits from nature, which are called these ecosystem services. And it could be from water, fish, climate mitigation, flood protection, which you know more, pest control, and more and more. Thank you so much.
Well, Thank you, Yorgos. At least from my side, it made me more informed about my area and the restoration. So the next time I will go there, I will remember your talk.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Good. So the next speaker is Dr. Mohad Medikain from UNICEF, and the title of presentation is Virtual Field Trip in Normandy, from questions arising in the field to methodological answers and scientific results. So Mohad, thank you for your participation, and we are ready to follow you in your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor, for organizing this event. I will share my screen now. I'll try. I hope you can see it now.
Well,
yes? Okay. Okay, thank you. So I'd like to talk today about how virtual field trip in Normandy, and specifically the Vache Noire Cliffs. In the last Multiplier event, we dived into the virtual field trip, and now I would like to talk about all the questions that are arising in the field and leads to methodological answer and scientific results. Last time we saw this virtual field trips, and we proposed a walk in a peculiar landscape, complex and chaotic, and gradually we'll see a variety of structures, escarpments, mud flows, erosions, deposits, and so on. And this virtual field trip raises the issue of describing and clarifying the phenomena and processes at work, and calls for a global monitoring systems to be put in place to answer the question, what are the factors, the processes, the spatial scales, the temporalities, and so on. So we need to go back to this landscape and see that the Vache Noire Cliff form a landscape of badlands that is unique on the French coasts. It is set in marl clay formations and surmounted by a sandy chalky series from the Albian Cenomanian period. They form a 4.5 kilometer coastal strip located between the town of Houlgat and Villers-sur-Mer. It is very active, and the triggering factors, the internal and external forcing elements of slope movements, are as much natural, like rainfall, spillage and rise in a water table, groundwater table, and so on, or also as man-made, like increasing urbanization, drains, highly frequented sites. So this results in several types of hydrogeological movement, some of which are interrelated. And in a context of increased control of French coastline and strong social demand for understanding and defining cliff erosion phenomena, we have undertaken research into the morphological evolutions of these coastal slopes and monitoring and quantifying the coastline mobility. So, as I said, the morphology of this cliff is complex and chaotic, and we can decompose it in several parts. The main summit escarpments runs broadly parallel to the coastline, although very irregularly. The escarpments form a steep slope with a height from 10 to 20 meters, depending on the sectors. The underlying flat sectors, known as the chaos, is largely wooded and has a homocline morphology with alternating convex and concave breaks in the slope. There's numerous escarpments of less than 5 meters, associated with rotational or translational nested landslide morphologies. A secondary escarpments between 5 and 10 meters, more or less parallel to the coastlines, follows the flat, and it marks a clear boundary with a line of interfluve and ridges running perpendicular to the coastline of the Badlands area and separated by deep talvegs gullies through which mud flows flow. And depending on the sectors, the ridges are very pronounced or, on the contrary, heavily eroded, reflecting various stages of evolutions. The basal escarpment, with a height of 1.5 to 3 meters, defined here as a coastline, has generally a straight line, but in details shows a succession of small coves and headlands protected by pile and boulders. These multi-meters blocks, transported by mud flows, are deposited in the foreshore in the axis of the gullies. So for more than 10 years now, near Villers-sur-Mer, a site was integrated into the National Coastal Observation Service that is called DINALIT, and this involves regular monitoring of the cliffs using terrestrial laser scanners and terrestrial photogrammetry. And the aim of this monitoring is to understand and quantify the hydrogeological processes at high spatial and temporal resolutions. The processes here are nested in time and space, and this type of interlocking is often referred to mixed, composite, or complex. And understanding this nonlinear and asynchronous functioning of a complex coastal system is the driving force behind our current research. So this understanding requires an analysis of the processes at a range of scales, from the most local, the DINALIT site here, a continuous monitoring site in present day, to the most global, which is the entire length of the cliffs along the coastline over longer period. The diachronic and quantitative approach adopted follows a classical protocol involving the collection of cartographic, photographic, and iconographic documents and measurements taken in the field. And also the definitions of geographical, geomorphological markers and the georeferencing of documents for comparisons. The documents used for the geographic study varies in age in details. They include old documents dating from the 18th century to documents from present day and measurements from present day. And for almost 10 years now, in the present day, regular monitoring by terrestrial laser scanner and terrestrial photogrammetry of this cliff was initiated, with lots of measurements taken in the field, which aims to better understanding and quantifying the interlocking hydrogravitational processes at work. So this monitoring focuses on high spatial and temporal resolution, modeling of the flash noir from several TLS or SFM or drone photogrammetry modelization. Several connected studies could be modeled in 3 dimensions 3 to 4 times a year, and the digital terrain model produced from these 3D models made it possible to monitor the seasonality of the process, but also to visualize the link with other measurements which aim to give us information on the triggering factors that occurs within this process. So if I go rapidly on the historical scale, I will just say for the most peculiar part, that is the basal part, the values for changes in the coastline basal escarpment proposed above are actually quite low if we look at it. Quite low for cliffs with a clay marl base, a soft base, and constitute a special case. Indeed, for such lithologies, we would expect to see more eroding cliffs with higher rates of retreat. However, the weak clay and marl formations are prone to frequent large-scale gravity movements with viscous and fluid mud flows reaching and spreading over the upper beach. The material evacuated by the sea are counterbalanced by the regular arrival of materials from slope processes, which is why we are observing an overall alternation between progradation period and erosion period, so that we can see in the same area a successive alternation of erosion and progradation. In the present scale, with these figures that I also already present in a previous multiplier event, we can see more clearly the evolution, the kinematics of the process, the mud flow specifically, of the entire seat of Denali at a local scale. And we can see also the cumulative total volumes of material that are evolving, and the break in the slope of this cumulative volume that shows the time of activities, of high global activities, and the time of low global activities. So we can decompose like that the seasonality of the process and link them to other measurements, like, let's say, marine data or precipitation data that can give us a sense of the thresholds and of the triggering factors responsible for these processes. So to conclude this part, we can say that we can feel these virtual field trips and the question arising from them, that we need a nesting analysis of spatial and temporal scale to assess the behavior of the cliffs in short and long term, to see the speed rates, the rhythmicity, the distribution on each sector, and to obtain the spatializations of movements and processes relays. So we have already determined the relation between the triggering factors and displacement, and we are now working on determining more precisely the surface volumes materials that are mobilized and the kinematics of slope evolutions between each survey by crossing 3D models, and to more precisely determine the triggering thresholds in pluviometry, water table pressure, storm, etc., to have a better understanding of these cliffs. The final purpose, of course, is the definitions of hazards, erosions, and landslides to provide stakeholders of these silts managers the first keys of understanding of this coastal system, and provide a knowledge basis of the Vache Noire Cliffs activities for numerical modeling. So I hope I was clear and not too quick, because I speak quickly, but you can find here on the two references that I selected here, this results in a more detailed way. We haven't got a chat, but you can see the link here, the DOE, if you want to have more on this question. So thanks you for your attention. Hello. I cannot hear you. Your mic is off.
Sorry. So I repeat again. So thank you for your very nice presentation, for your presence here, and many things were concisely included. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
So now we have Nikos Papastamatheou, a Greek person who is actually the technical guy from Greece to develop the VR. So, Nikos, thank you for your presence here, and the floor is yours.
Okay, hello. Good afternoon to all participants. I'm Nikos Papamathiou. I'm going to share my screen now for my presentation. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen, yes.
Okay, great. So you have already heard some things about the platform. Now I'm going to tell you a more technical things, how this platform is being developed. So this is not a single application, it's a number of applications that are interconnected in order to be able to offer these authoring environments, the environments to create these virtual visits, but also players where you will be able to see as a viewer these virtual visits. So our solution, our platform, is composed of 3 parts. The first one is the online content repository. This is where all the collected multimedia materials are uploaded by the authors. 360 photos, 360 videos, images, sounds, narrations that they will use in their presentations, and all of this upload to the content repository. Then we have an application where they enter inside the 360 views, and the users can place the multimedia material inside these views and create the presentations they want to offer to the viewers. And the third one is the players. Players is the applications that you don't need their login and the password. It's free, where you can view the presentations that are developed and published by the authors. So this is the 3 levels, the 3 different parts of this platform, and that is all available for VR, virtual reality headsets, MetaQuest 2 headsets. Let's see them one by one. In the repository, online repository is a web application. You need the username and the password to connect, and each user has its own private space where he or she can upload different multimedia materials like 360 images, 360 videos, sound, narration, images, and even 3D objects. So the authors can upload their own material, but there's also a library with free materials for all users, where they can select from there some elements that they can use inside their presentation, like arrows, for example, or bubbles with text or whatever, some common things that are useful to all authors. So this is the online repository. The authoring environment. In the authoring environment, you load the 3D views, either it's a video or an image, a 360 image. You load them inside our authoring environment, and there you can select from the repository the preferred images and videos and images, sounds, and you can also add texts, write text inside this presentation to create a narrative about its 360 view. Then you can link different 360 views that you have uploaded in the repository to each other and create a path for the users, for the viewers, that they will be able to follow and see your entire presentation. The spheres can be connected to each other with many ways. I mean, it's not linear. You can go from one screen, from one 360 view to any of the other 360 views available in the presentation, uploaded in the repository. And you can connect this one sphere with the other, one 360 view with the other, adding some elements inside your presentation and saying that this arrow leads to this sphere. So it's open to make the connection between the spheres as you would like. You can go back and forth and visit other spheres at any time. Okay, the players, okay, we target, our main target is VR. Because VR gives them a more immersive experience, and it's more engaging. And we have interactivity in all of these players, not only the VR. All the players are the same, have the same functionality, but okay, the experience is different between the different players. And we have used them for the development of these applications. All the authoring tools and the players are developed with a game engine. Its name is Unity. It's quite famous, and a lot of people, developers, are using it nowadays. And the good thing, the advantage of this platform, okay, is that it's using C# for programming. That is a language more familiar to many people. But the most important feature of this platform is that it's multi-platform. It's multi-platform means that when you create something inside this platform, you can easily export it for different devices. For example, you build the players, and you need a very limited work to export it for VR, for PCs, even for mobile phones and tablets and the web. So it's easy when you have created one version for one end screen to transfer this to more screens that are available for the end users. That's why we have different players for this. We have a window player, we have a WebGL player that can play either in Windows and Mac devices. We have the VR player. So this is a reason why we have selected also the Unity platform for creating the applications. Okay, this was about the technology behind all this. And I'm sure that you will have access to the players from the Geovt website also to try and see all these presentations, virtual trips created by the project partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nico. Very interesting and very promising, actually. So I invite the people to enter the site and see the artifacts created by Omega. So the last but not the least speaker is my friend Aristides, who is going to change the direction and go for a game, an escape room in the alignment of the framework of Geovt. So Ari, the floor is yours.
Hello, give me some time to share my screen. Okay, can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Aris, and with Professor Sarandos, we have developed within the framework of the project escape room games. First of all, I would like to say you some basic things about escape room games. Escape room games are live, interactive, team-based games where players discover clues, solve puzzles, and complete tasks in one or more rooms to achieve a specific goal, usually by escaping the room in a limited amount of time. Studies show that playing games in the classroom can increase overall motivation. Students become more motivated to learn, pay attention, and participate in class activities. They can also be a great class management tool, helping to motivate the class. One important thing for you to keep in mind, A 2011 study completed by researchers in the United Kingdom found the games in the classroom provided more motivation if the learning was the playful part and not just a side note to the activity. As games move quickly, a student needs to be alert and attentive for extended periods, and a study by researchers at the University of Wisconsin in Madison found games actually benefit students by helping them shape their attentiveness and training the brain in how to learn. Using different instructional approaches in the classroom, such as playing games, enables students to encounter the content in various ways, making it easier for them to pay attention after the activity has ended. The Geovt escape room games developed is based on the concept of escape rooms. Specifically, it consists of 5 missions. To complete each mission, students must work together to answer the questions asked and then discover a digit of the final secret code. The game ends successfully when students discover all the digits of the final secret code. This is the first screen of the game. In this section, you can see the problem that will be solved by completing the game. For example, our planet is in danger from the collision with a huge asteroid. To avoid the collision, you must discover the secret code that will activate the RS system, which will destroy the asteroid. Students have to work together to answer the questions of each mission in order to find the secret code that will save our planet. There are 5 missions that they need to complete to discover the secret code. The code consists of 5 digits. To find each digit, you have to complete a mission. So, with the help of the 5 secret agents characters that we'll see in the next slide, students have to discover the final secret code. This is the characters. Each mission will be completed with the help of a character. In this screen, we can choose a destination. The URL of the game is here, and I will show you some screenshots of the game. This is the first screen of mission 1. We have a series of questions that the students have to answer correctly in order to find the digit of the final secret code. For example, for this mission, when all questions are answered correctly, they will discover the first digit of the secret code, which is number 2. In the same way, we see mission 2. So in a similar way, they answer the questions, and finally they discover the number 7. So when the secret code has been discovered, they solve the game. To conclude, we have to say that educational escape games make the learning process fun and engaging. The objective is to increase knowledge and awareness of geoheritage through an escape game experience. Because maybe it's a little bit monotonous for a student alone to answer all these questions. An approach is to make groups of 4 or 5 students, and each group try to solve a mission. And then finally all together they combine the digits and find the secret code. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is for me. We have lost Professor Sarados.
I'm waiting for Professor Sarados. Thank you, Aristides, for your presentation. I have to mention that we have used here in my university these escape rooms. Students enjoyed that. We played in teams. It was also it was fun. And at this point, I think we have Carmen with us. Is that right? Carmen, are you here? Just mention that Carmen is the head of our Geovt group. She's the one that organizes the whole group, and thank you for that, Carmen. It is very nice to have you here. And if I remember correctly, Monday is your day also. Is that right? I cannot hear.
Carmen, you are muted.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks to you all. It was very nice event. All presentations.
Well, it's
They also, Carmen, do I remember correctly?
What?
Monday, you also present your thesis on Monday.
Yes, at 10.
Yes, it's your day.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So we'll pronounce you Dr.
Good
Carmen instead of Carmen from Monday.
Exactly, and we will have two more doctors in Geovt, two pretty new. Good luck, Carmen. All the best. All the best to you. And on Monday we will celebrate for you also.
Oh, yes.
Good.
Thank you. We will let you know how it went, everything.
So I think Sarados.
Is anyone from the audience who would like to raise some questions from the topics included? So, silence around. So, in that case, we have to finalize this multiplier event. Sorry from the minor problems during the beginning. We have to catch up the people, so they possibly they had some obligations. So after 3:30 were more than 40 people, and we are very happy with that. So I would like to thank you again, all of you. I wish you a nice Friday evening and the weekend, and also happy Christmas, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And with Yorgos, we could arrange with Nikki a meeting in Yalova.
Of course,
we have some people there and discuss in Elia.
Dimitris is a good friend.
Yes, and his brother is in a relationship with my cousin.
Okay.
Yorgos, yes.
Yes, I
Small
know.
world. So, okay. So, have a nice evening.
You
and
too.
possibly hopefully we will meet again in the next year. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas. Happy
Merry
New Year.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
to everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.